Welcome back. We're glad you're still watching WBS Television. We are discussing the voter registration exercise and update exercise currently being undertaken by the Electro Commission. And our guest this evening is the EC boss, Engineer Dr. Badu Chigundu, and we went for a break right when he was trying to explain the nitty-gritties of the exercise that is taking place right now. And Doctor, you were talking about the process that this data that is being collected will go through. Let's talk about maybe the basics. What is the Electoral Commission going to do exactly with the information they collect, and when does the country expect a substantive voters register, because we are stone's throw away from the general elections? Okay,
the data we get right now is going to be channeled through Colorado. Why? Because we need the data we've captured to be verified to comply with citizenry. It's very easy for somebody to get excited because of seeing registration gadgets around and cameras and so forth, comes up and says, yes, I am so and so, but are you actually a citizen? At that stage, we may not ask you, but of course the person registering will say, are you actually a citizen? And you say, yes. You may not have the actual documents, but the process will continue. And that will be finalized through the Colorado process. Once that, say we capture about 1 million, and maybe 800,000 are the ones who will come through as bona fide citizens. That 800,000 will be passed onto our system, and we place them in the appropriate voting locations. That is done by us. That's the process of compiling. We do the compiling ourselves without anybody else, because what comes from Colorado is not in the form of a register.
Okay.
Okay. So we still have some work to do, and once that information is compiled, then we shall be ready to proceed with a national display in June.
Which is a few days away.
Yes. We are not sleeping. We are 7/24 operators. So we displayed for 3 weeks to still certify that everything is correct to the best. And at that time, we'll be appealing to all the people to come forward, check. So Ugandans sometimes don't come in the numbers you expect. But if the time elapses, we shall go with those who have come through to check their particulars.
Okay.
And then there will be those who may be recommended for deletion for reasons of being either moved out of the country or somebody has died in the process, or somebody slipped through as being relatively youthful, or somebody slipped through, really the citizenship verification does not catch up with him. You know, as I say, these are human. There could be some 0.1% errors here and there. At that time, those recommendations will be put at display at a parish for a prescribed number of days. And once those days elapse, there's a tribunal which is established by the judiciary. That tribunal will look at those corrections on those forms and say yes or no to whatever has been recommended. If they say yes, they sign. The committee signs. And once it signs, that's a sign of approval, that whatever was called out as an error is correct. And so those forms will come to us in the commission, and ultimately our final register will come through sometime in August.
Okay.
So that will be the register that we shall be ready to deploy for candidates who want to go on source for their supporters, presidential candidates, and ultimately the one for voting.
Okay. In this exercise, Doctor, you are employing the use of the biometric system. Yes. What role is it playing in the voter update exercise?
Well, first of all, we want to employ Ugandans that your commission has been applying new technologies from one generation of elections to another. We started off with model studies ourselves in the early 2003, 2004 with biometrics. but we could not come through financially to support full-blown development. In 2010, we came through together with government. Government supported the idea. The government became very interested in promoting the national identity card. So the early phase of biometrics was bought, and we were the first applicants of that technology. We were able to appraise over 5 million voters on biometrics. The advantage with biometrics is that, you know, God is great. God who created each one of us, even if we are twins, the architecture on the thumb of each of us as twins. If you are my twin brother, you're too young to be my twin brother. The architecture on your thumb, or either thumb, is different from yours, even if we came out the same day from our mother's womb. So that's a cardinal identifier of an individual, and it is used even across the world. That's why when you go to some of these foreign countries, at the point of entry, they want your thumbprint to verify whether actually the document you are carrying is yours, and whether you have actually been reported as a good person or a suspect. So it is very, very good technology. And we are getting to that point. And that's what we shall use during polling. We shall ask people to put their thumbprint on a thumbprint reader, and it flashes, you know, on our machine, and we shall say, yes, this is your location. Else we shall ask you to bring your national ID card. We swipe through a machine, and we should be able to tell you that you're actually voting from this location.
Okay.
If not, we'll advise you go 5 polling stations down, and you'll find your particulars there.
Okay. We also live in a country where very many of us are allergic to technology. We have seen scenarios where these technological inventions are beaten hands down. Is the Commission prepared for that particular aspect?
We are prepared. We are prepared. Of course, no one says technology is 100% reliable, but we're prepared. We'll not be the first ones to say, yes, we have an alternate. But remember the last general elections, we developed super technology in delivering results, wireless transmission, and it worked very well. So we hope this time around, wireless transmission will do likewise. And therefore, biometrics, we anticipate, will equally perform.
Okay, because I was trying to draw examples from next door in Kenya.
Yeah,
we saw the challenges that the IEBC went through, and especially in this, especially considering the fact that these voting exercises across the country, probably in my village down in Zombo, people will be asking questions: who is going to man those machines? How competent are they?
Yeah, people will be trained. Those we shall engage. Ugandans are very bright. We shall train them in additional handling of the equipment, especially the equipment that we shall get for voter verification. We are procuring a system that will help us to identify you as a voter at that polling station. So that's the technology which is somewhere still in the procurement process, and it will be at your polling station in Zombo. It will be at my polling station wherever I vote, if I have time to vote.
Are you actually supposed to vote?
I'm not barred from voting because it's my constitutional right, natural right, constitutional, whatever you want to call it. If I have the opportunity, I'll vote.
Wow, that's quite odd, because I thought as the man at the center of it all, you would actually be barred from partisan participation.
No legal bar. It's just morally. You find yourself preoccupied with so many activities that day that the time may elapse before you can drive to your polling station. And very many of my staff, those who are full-time and temporary, more than 200,000 employees per election cycle, including security, don't poll, because we find ourselves in areas which are not very close to our polling stations.
Okay. Yeah. All right, but by law, EC staff, including yourself, are allowed to vote?
No problem.
Okay, let's talk about the people you talked about who are going to be trained. What qualification are we looking at? To adopt technology, one must have basic level of understanding. What qualification are you looking at?
These days, you'll be surprised. Some of your young brothers, younger than you, are probably more articulate with IT than you. So, first of all, somebody must have an A-level as a basic educational level, but must be trainable. IT is becoming so domesticated now that even on your own village, you may find somebody you least expect that may be so conversant. So we cannot fail to find people who are the ones we've been using in the massive enrollment. I remember in 2010, the company that we bought equipment from was concerned that maybe Ugandans, we may not find enough Ugandans trained enough or capable. And I told them, don't underestimate Ugandans.
Okay.
I'm a teacher, I've been teaching for many years. I know the capability. Ugandans are bright. And the company was so shocked that what I told them is what came through. The boys and girls performed so well.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the preparedness of the EC. We have talked about the process, what they're doing and everything. You need funds, you need logistics, you need manpower. What is the status of the Electoral Commission right now as don't throw away to the general elections?
Well, the funding for this year, because remember, we rolled a 3-year roadmap. And we're the only commission in the whole of Africa that talks about the concept of a roadmap, particularly a 3-year roadmap. We rolled it out, or we designed that system to ease financial pressures from our government. Otherwise, if we congested each and everything in 1 year, there would be a problem. So we define activities that can be accomplished in year 1, but have a bearing on activities in year 2, and appropriate funding. So those are easier levels of funding that can be negotiated with the government. Okay. And in this second year of that roadmap, we have received literally the money we want for the activities. And as we target the final year, we are talking to still with government and development partners to help us in some areas. I'm sure we shall have the appropriate funding come 2016.
Okay. The preparations for elections, Engineer Badru Chigundu, coincides with the constitutional review process. Anything the Commission is looking for in that aspect, probably in regard to legislative support from Parliament, is there a specific aspect that you're looking at?
Well, for us, we are implementers of the law. And we always say whatever law comes through in the process of amendment, we shall implement. There are some laws sometimes which get passed and we can't implement, we return them. Well, especially if they turn out to be too costly. Because we are the ones who attach cost. And therefore, we are very, very edgy when laws get passed late. Because when they get passed late, that means the budgets were submitted cannot suffice. And therefore, we have to look for supplementary, or government has to find supplementary funding. So for us, we are prepared, whatever comes, but the legal framework we have now cannot hinder us to carry out the program we're running.
Okay. Yeah. You've been to Parliament a number of times, and
tomorrow I'm going there.
And tomorrow you're heading there. You've been asked a number of questions. There are actually discussions within the political sector with the stakeholders calling for the disbanding of your commission. I'm sure you've heard those statements, and the country is asking, what would be your take on that?
I'm an implementer of the law. If they told me walk away today, I'll walk away within the law. And the appropriate cost, of course, will have to be met. So I don't lose my sleep over that. I do my work as I did from day one.
Okay, and actually those discussions are based on the relationship between the commission and the presidency and the government. You know that you cannot work in isolation, and then many people, many times you don't have the chance to respond to some of these questions, but people, you have received bashing from the media, bashing from a section of political players, and one would ask Engineer Badu Chigundu, what exactly is your relationship with the government, with the president, and with the government in power specifically?
I can return the same question and say, what's the relationship between judiciary and the president or the government? The appointment process is generally the same. We get nominated by the president, but we get vetted by parliament. The parliament can turn down the process. It's not the first. I'm sure you've seen many who are turned down by parliament and then finally appointed by the president. That is the process prescribed within the law.
Okay.
And therefore, there's no special status, there's no special relationship. We just do our work as the law prescribes.
Okay. All right, if you've just joined us, we're talking to Engineer Badu Chigundu, the Electro Commission boss. We're talking about the roadmap to 2016, the voter registration and update exercise. When we come back from the break, we shall be able to take your feedback through phone calls. For now, let's go for a break and return in a short while.